everyone, and welcome to another Total War Warhammer Battle Replay with me, Squawker, and today it's a 3 versus 3 actually. Yeah, this was actually not only the first 3 versus 3 I ever played, but, well, actually that is it. It is the first ever 3 versus 3 I've played. So we're going to just jump right into this one, get through the builds. I'm playing Warriors of Chaos, and on my left flank I have the Dwarves, and on my right flank I have Bretonnia. And we are fighting 2 Empire armies, and hidden in the forest over there is Norsca. So let's go through the builds first, and we'll also put it slow motion so things to get started. So the front line of the Dwarves were the Goblobbers, which is just upgraded grudge for us. He'd also brought quite a few regiments of renown, and the Master Engineer, at least actually he hadn't. This was a runesmith. I tell a lie. I don't play dwarves a lot, so I'm not very good with the symbols. But we brought Great Weapon Dwarven Warriors, because I suspect this was to counter Empire, and also just because these guys just do huge damage anyway. He'd also brought the Norgrimling Ironbreakers, a few more Great Weapon Dwarf Warriors, and then Miners with blasting charges for their lovely morale penalties. Thorgrim Grudgebearer leading the Dwarven army as well, and guarding him with a Grumbling Guard, which were just basically Great Weapon Longbeards. He also had 3 units of Thunderers, Slayers in the rear, one of which were the Dragonbacks, and then just some extra blasting charge miners. As you can see, my guy, well, I'm not under attack, but my ally is already beginning to be attacked, but I think that's just the initial artillery exchange as he's beginning to launch fire on Norsca. I was on the centre. I had brought 3 units of regular Chaos Warriors on my front. Leading the army was a Chaos Sorcerer Lord upon a Manticore. On my flanks, 2 units of Chaos Warriors with Halberds. Then in the back, 2 units of Chosen to bring in the heavy hitting. Also Chosen Halberds as well for the heavy anti-large, because I knew Norsca was in this one, so I thought, right, just in case there's a Mammoth. But then again, that Mammoth won't be a problem if I've gone and brought the Summoners of Range, which are a special unit of Dragon Ogres, which have the ability to chain lightning everywhere if they build up enough charge. And also helping me out are some lovely Chaos Dwarves who are manning the Hell Cannon, which can go bang and boom. And on my flank, last but not least, is Bretonnia, being led by, well, not being led by the Paladin, but he brought 2 Paladins atop lovely unicorn hippogriffy things. And then his front line, he's got men at arms with shields, all advancing through the forest right now towards the Empire. Helping him out is a Grail Relique. He's also brought a couple of spears just for the anti-large. Peasant bows were armed with pox arrows for the lovely poison smackdown. Leading his army was the Fey Enchantress, because yeah, you can get her if you're not playing as Carcassonne. Also some regular field trebuchets, but they're already taking fire from the enemy Hellstorm rocket batteries, as you can see. But on top of that, he brought the Beast Slayers of Baston alongside a bunch of foot squires, and at the back, the defenders of the Fleur de Lis amongst some knight errants. So, since the enemy is beginning to exchange fire, and as you can see, my line of Chaos Warriors is beginning to advance towards here, because obviously we've got cliffs in this battle. Let's have a quick look at what these 2 Empire armies are bringing. Leading one of them is Karl Franz, and Volkmar the Grim leads the other one. Atop here's a War Altar of Sigmar. Guarding Volkmar in a minute, we have some shielded spears, more shielded spears, a few great swords, halberds, a lot of infantry just clumped up here. Then we've got a line of great swords. The Hellstorm rocket battery, but I'd already begun to have my Hell Cannon target this as well, so we could start wearing it down. And he's also brought the Silver Bullets, which are just a pretty, you know, strong unit of handgunners. He's also brought the Sunmaker Hellstorm rocket battery, which I think does fire attacks. Celestial Wizard as well, who does the Law of Light. And then halberdiers and a spear and another spear shield. Actually, I think the Celestial might do heavens, not light. I tell a lie. Also, then we've got the Reiksguard at the back here, alongside some Demigryph Knights equipped with halberds, which basically these guys basically not only have massive endurance and charge, they will just live forever and take out large stuff. But Dwarven Artillery here just dealt a nice big nasty blow to the Hellstorm rocket battery here, nearly wiping one of these units out. Got some handgunners guarding it, as well as some crossbowmen, and that was about it for this Empire army actually. But then again, I think they were both basically one big combined force, but it was all a bit of a clump. Meanwhile, Norsca, they've hidden a War Mammoth in the forests alongside some Fimir warriors. Well, two War Mammoths actually, one of which was Soul Crusher, a legendary one, and the other one is just carrying a big old War Shrine. Basically 2 big, nasty, terrifying buffing units. Then we've got plenty of Marauder Champions just making up the front line. Leading this one was Frog, who's just chilling out in the forests. Marauder Champions, Skin Wolf Werekins, and also 2 Shadow Bale Fiends. But since this army was mostly hidden, it wasn't really on top of our attention. I think the dwarves were more focused on the Empire, as was the Bretonnians and me, since this was going to be our angle of attack. So as you can see, the Goblobber is just working down the Empire's artillery positions here. They put most of their missile units up here, of course, because obviously the terrain advantage. Since I'm playing Chaos and I lack missile units, really, because it's the only really big rage thing I have is my Hell Cannon, which is about to rain fire down. Yeah. Naturally, I was going to have to be one advancing. So as you can see, we're going to get a big bang and boom right here. Or, well, kind of missed, but managed to hit the Witch Hunter right in the face as well, of which there are 2 lurking in the enemy forces. And to be honest, if it involves a Witch Hunter getting hurt, then I'm happy, because 1, Skaven are my allies, and 2, I just really don't like Witch Hunters in this game. They always seem to debuff everything and just generally get in my way. But I'm beginning to bring my troops forward. I was keeping my Chaos Sorcerer Lord just a little bit distant as well. I never really have too much luck when I bring a non-legendary Lord in this game. Well, alright, I tell a lie. I usually do have enough luck, but whenever I bring Chaos and I bring a Sorcerer Lord, I usually find out that they end up being dead quite quickly. But I had cast a Fireball since I had Law of Fire equipped. I should just start letting out his initial hits. Basically what I had was a baby Archaon, but when I bring Archaon, he usually lives for the entire battle and kills everything. This guy, yeah, I just don't have luck with regular old sorcerers, but that's just my problem. So I've got my Hell Cannon just raining fire and also targeting Volkmar, or at least whatever was behind Volkmar. Kind of missed him, but then again, not really much point using the Hell Cannon on Volkmar just yet. He'd have to be dealt with soon, but it was more prudent to take out anything that was a threat. Mainly those great swords with their armor piercing damage, which could bog down my Chaos Warriors, will be a good start. But my halberds didn't really have too much use. I mean, obviously I do have demigryphs to deal with, but right now they're just not in my position. Well, the Fimir Bale Fiends as well, they decided to come and join in the battle over here. They're just sat here waiting for something to do. Don't think I noticed these guys immediately, so that's why I didn't really do anything about them. But already, the prolonged artillery fire and silver bullets and handguns and crossbows are already beginning to wear out some of my Chaos Warriors. Their morale is already reaching a very low level before it even happens. Meanwhile, I do believe Bretonnia also had a damsel lurking in the army, or at least actually this is a Fey Enchantress. I need to remember who casts spells in this game, but yeah, Fey Enchantress cast a nice big area of effect spell there, already squashing down those clumped up Empire troops. I've been hit hard by the Hellstorm batteries again. But the Empire's infantry, which has just all been clumped up in that forest, was just beginning to make its move. Unfortunately for them, my Sorcerer had also just cast a big old firestorm right on top of them. And as you can see, just slowly wiping them all out there. Just all on fire, and those who weren't, well, those who didn't die, well, now they're covered in blood and have probably been burnt nice and crispy, so they'll go down quite easily now. But yeah. That's the point when you clump up your guys when you're dealing with spellcasters. If you're all clumped up, a spellcaster is only going to have a stronger chance of ruining your life. So, main engagement now going on. I've got my Chaos Halberds just hitting into those great swords. Not really the best matchup in the world, I know, but really, at the same time, it's more or less even. If my guys' morale would hold out, which as you can see, it really isn't. It's already sinking to the bottom, and the War Altar just blasted through my men there. Really meant I was just not going to take this engagement first time around. And also, I never really saw the War Altar in action, but I didn't know that there was an Archlector on the back who also basically just meant that any angle you attack from isn't going to work. As you can see, my Sorcerer Lord just tried to get another Fireball out. I was using him to target Volkmar, but just not getting any hits. War Altar, or at least, well, no, I'm getting my words mixed up, aren't I? But I've managed to hit some of those Demigryph Knights as well with my Hell Cannon. They were on the move, they were on the prowl, looking to do something nasty. Also, some of my guys were being hexed by the Celestial Wizard, who was just getting in my way. Overall, at the minute, I was losing these initial matchups. My Halberds were just not getting in there, but that wasn't over just yet. Chosen were now making their way into the fight. Got into Volkmar and prepared to start chopping down his health. Volkmar decided he wasn't going to win. Also, I have my Exalted Hero who's just turned up to lend a helping hand. And I'd also buffed this guy up with the Hellfire Sword so he could have fire damage. And once he got in, well, the Exalted Hero could start dueling him and really did begin to chip away at Volkmar's health. Not a lot he chipped away initially, but it's a start. Also just bringing down some extra, well, he was bringing down his Battle Prayers, which was slowing me down. Celestial Wizard as well, he just cast a vortex to try and kill more of my men. So initially, yeah, once more, not going too well, but artillery was still hitting the Empire hard. We were just losing on melee, but the dwarves were beginning to advance their line now. They were just going to start advancing on Norsca, but he managed to keep his artillery positions just firing on all cylinders against the Empire. Some of my Chaos Warriors were coming back, their morale was beginning to recover. Dragon Ogres were now making their way in. I also brought a few Chaos Chariots, but they were a pretty minor unit for my army. Didn't have enough money to bring the ones with the Gore Beasts, so these guys were only just going to be a minor running around support thing. But since they were being slow, I was just more interested in getting my infantry into position. And this was really before I learnt that I could just maybe make my infantry not run into battle all the time. Because as you can see, this has probably cost me quite a few lives. Already the Celestial Wizards popped off another Vortex spell, but this one just wandered off and didn't really do anything too useful. And the tide was beginning to turn as Bretonnia was pushing into the far flank of the Empire. While Bretonnia wasn't quite winning, they were at the same time keeping the Empire held, and it was buying my Chaos Warriors time to start pushing into the Empire's centre and begin bringing down Volkmar, who was continuing to just rain down the battle prayers in order to slow me down. As you can see, he brought down the really annoying one that kills everything, but Exalted Hero wasn't going to let this grudge go. Just moving in, cleaving through the Great Swords, getting into Volkmar and just slowing him down. Meanwhile, dwarves once more, just not really making their move, but Norsca was beginning to shift around. Norsca had just been lying in wait for the entire battle, but now the Chaos Champions are emerging, and they're going to go and just engage the dwarves head-on. Don't think we really need to watch for that, because let's face it, you engage in the dwarves head-on. We all know what happens when you engage a dwarf head-on, and you're a faction that isn't the dwarves. You're going to lose. Meanwhile, over here as well, my Dragon Ogres had come in. I know they're anti-large units, but then again, these guys can just kill anything that comes near them anyway, so I just thought, yeah, just let them do anything. But the specific thing to know about these Dragon Ogres, and mainly the Summoners of Range, was they need to be constantly attacking in order to begin charging up their spell, which is to Chain Lightning. As you can see, the Celestial Wizard was still having his fun doing his Chain Lightning, and also just trying to basically eat as many winds of magic as possible just to try and bring my Dragon Ogres down. Did do a lot of damage to my chosen halberds, but I didn't really care that they'd gone down. I was more interested in just popping off these guys, getting their charged lightning ready, even if a hell can managed to smack them in the back, but really they did more damage there. But I think at this point I had charged these guys up, and I thought, right, let's get them into a position where they're going to do maximum damage, where there's plenty of enemies clumped up. So they're just running across the battlefield, causing absolute chaos through the artillery positions into the handgunners. No more fires going on all of my men. No more of them just getting pelted and peppered. They'd keep my morale up. The Celestial Wizard there, he just knows that might not be going well for him in a few minutes, because I was getting ready to pop that Chain Lightning at long last and basically fry up whatever was left of the Empire's infantry. So as you can see, nice crackling sounds. They're getting ready to discharge all of their rage, basically. Empire's just clumping up again, just trying to do what they could. Some of my Chaos Warriors weren't holding up, so, you know, I was still losing battles and engagements, but I was still getting the job done with my Dragon Ogres. The thing with Chaos is, while their infantry sometimes isn't the best, their heavy hitters really do hit heavy. I mean, they will hit heavier than anything. See a Dragon Ogre? Well, you got to do everything you can to kill the Dragon Ogre. And the Empire was sort of thinking of that by having a Celestial Wizard just go all out on him, but don't think he did enough. And so I guess in one way, it's a bit of tactical cunning to leave these guys till later and not bring the Dragon Ogres in instantly. Because now that I've got them in, they're free to move around and just hit whatever they want. Meanwhile, over here, there was just big old Lord engagement. Karl Franz, Sig Volkmar, and the Fey Enchantress, they're just all hitting each other. My Chaos Lord was just sitting out there, not doing anything because, well, as you can tell, his health is low, and I wasn't really planning on having him die. If he died, my morale was going to break, and that wasn't going to end well for me. Another lightning spell popping off there. I believe this one was actually mine going off, because it's, well, it's frying up a few people. Well, it's actually frying up everyone. But as you can see, what's up there, getting ready. Volkmar has had enough. He's going to get rid of my Dragon Ogres once and for all. Because, well, it's annoying having Dragon Ogres just running around causing chaos all over your flanks. But Volkmar just decided to, well, cowered out at the very end. His morale may have been full, but his stamina was not, and neither was his health. Witch Hunters on both, well, both Witch Hunters were going down. Karl Franz passed away at this point. and we were just ready to finish this one off. Chaos Warriors were just going in, chasing down Volkmar, getting ready to deal with Norsca since we'd won this engagement here. Empire just about collapsed. Norsca, meanwhile, had started their engagement. While their infantry wasn't going to win, obviously these two war mammoths were going to be causing absolute hell. But Dragonback Slayers and regular Slayers, well, very obvious what they're going to hit, isn't there? They just went right in, started dealing with the Thimir Warriors, who were also the Miststalker ones, by the way, and just started bringing down the war mammoths. Already the War Shrine is just about out of commission. My sorcerer went in to attack Volkmar, took him out. War Altar, as you can see, has gone down, and Volkmar lies dead. There he is, dead Volkmar. Tragic for him, but I don't care. However, Ungrim had finally died, or at least Thorgrim had died. Ungrim was nowhere to be seen today. Thorgrim got stomped on by a mammoth. Well, he's only a dwarf, he's tiny. And the mammoth, feeling a little bit cocky, just went in, started crashing into the enemy dwarves. As you can see, it is causing a lot of chaos. Slayers were just a little bit displaced, since all the Thimir Warriors and Frog were now beginning to cause chaos. But since Empire was now out of the game, as you can see, Bretonia's coming in to help. I'm coming in to help. Fae Enchantress was just using whatever was left, and her spell broke what was left of Norsca. And I think they admitted defeat when they realised the Empire was no longer around to protect them. So, a Pyrrhic victory once more because, well, probably for me, because of Chaos dying so much. But really, things did go right for me. I did make the right call by leaving my Dragon Ogres till later, because that meant they weren't going to get killed instantly, and that meant also they could just basically move in when the formation is nice and loose, so they can just move freely, just go kill to kill to kill to kill to kill. Norsca, I think they made a mistake in waiting so long to make their move. Obviously, against the dwarves, it's not exactly the best matchup anyway. The dwarves are going to win. You're going to need a lot of tactical cunning to bring down the dwarves. And I mean, Norsca was making good progress as well by taking out Thorgrim, and they were killing things. But I think really, by the way, look, there's Skyrim, man. But really, I think it was too little, too late for Norsca. If they'd charged in earlier, maybe caught the dwarves off guard, they might have helped. Or if they'd bundled up with the Empire and sort of provided support to stop me and Bretonia, that might have worked. I just feel like it was like really a 2 versus 2 here and then just a 1 versus 1 over there, which, you know, does happen a lot in team games, but it was a bit like there was a bit of a disconnect in a way. It was like 2 separate matches going on at once. I mean, Bretonia did come in at the very end, but at that point Norsca had broken anyway, so yeah. But it was a very fun battle. Pretty big one as well. As you can see, actually my Fire Lord did do alright. He did 45 kills. Exalted Hero got quite a few. Chaos Warriors didn't really do too well. These guys basically took the majority of the enemy fire and just basically, well, took a lot of push. Halberds did make it into the enemy line, so they did take home a respective number of kills. Chosen, they did okay. Chosen Halberds, yep, they were the last ones to arrive to my party, so they did very well. Chariot was just basically running around the flanks and mopping up any stragglers, so that's why it's got so many kills. Obviously the Dragon Ogres, who summon range, they did very, very well. Moving them quite close to the end of the battle was just really what paid off for me the best. And the Hell Cannon, well, that just had a lot of fun popping off anything. And obviously, yes, we do know, yes, I made a strategic mistake of not defending the Hell Cannon. I didn't like leave a unit of Halberds behind, but since the Empire hadn't really brought a lot of cavalry apart from a few Reiksguard and Demigriffs, but they were more interested in just snaking around and stopping Bretonia, I was free to just basically leave my Hell Cannon as it was. And I mean, hell, it got 200 kills and it got me a Steam achievement, so well done me. Let's have a look at some allies as well. So, as you can also see here, Volkmar's army didn't do well at all. While it was winning the initial matchups against me, and this one, well, this guy was the one who brought most of the infantry, so his infantry was what was really killing me. But really, I think while the Empire did quite well in doubling up their forces, I think there was just a little bit of a lack of coordination between them. I mean, to say that, I mean, me and Bretonia were exactly 100% coordinated either, because my losses were very heavy. Everyone else had pretty, well, same amount of losses, but really losses for Chaos are just horrible things to deal with. But yeah, I think I could have been a little bit better synced up with Bretonia. But I think we were still a little bit more aware of space and that, since we took a flank each rather than the Empire, which had just sort of created a big, like, lump. But yeah, you can see here, Bretonia did very well, especially their companions of Quenelles. They were just they managed to get right to the rear flank at the very end. Dwarves, they were sort of doing their own thing really, but they were keeping Norsca at bay, I guess. I mean, they kept Norsca sort of clouded with indifference, so they didn't really have the best matchup. They sort of just got the short end of a stick and just thought, right, well, we're gonna have to go for it. I mean, they did manage to kill a few dwarves at least, but probably not enough to break the Dwarven army. I mean, yeah, alright, we did kill Thorgrim, but that's what happens when you put 2 war mammoths on him. But yeah, quite naturally, the grudge throwers were very useful to us. But that is where we're going to call that a battle, so I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all on the next one, which will be, well, I'm not telling you. You'll just have to wait and see, won't you? May the fires of chaos continue to burn. And also may Total Warhammer 2 not suck, because I'm looking forward to playing that. See you soon, folks.